Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new, welcome. And man, complaining really works because you guys gave me a very easy region to do this time around. Now, it was definitely a bit my fault because I totally forgot to remind you all to vote for the next region that we'd cover until the very end of the last region guide, which was, 40 minutes long, so not everyone would have made it to the end. But let's not do that this time. So, hey, make sure you vote for the next region that you want to see me cover down in the comments, and the one with the most votes will be the focus of the next region guide. As always with these region guides, I'm going to be leaving out all of the smaller, less important details so as to not completely spoil the sense of exploration that comes with being in a new region. These guides are simply to help you know where you are and what you absolutely can't miss. We're first going to go over why anyone would want to go to Broken Railroad, then we'll talk about transitions to and from the region, and after that, we'll make our way through the region together and visit all of the key areas. So, without any further ado, let's dive right in. First things first, why would you want to go to Broken Railroad? Well, if we're talking about aesthetics, the Hunting Lodge is a very popular safe house spot. And if we're talking practicality, then the region as a whole, while very small, has a little bit of everything. There are spawns for all wildlife except for cougars. The region is very rich in high-value loot, and there are workbenches and a forge as well. Broken Railroad makes for a very cozy and compact home that will fill nearly all of your survivors' general needs. Now, another obvious reason that people make their way here is simply that you have to walk through Broken Railroad to reach the far territories. But they aren't truly exploring the place, so they don't count. They're fake fans. We're here to see the sights. They're just passing through. Anyways, let's talk about the transitions. If you don't have the Tales from the Far Territory DLC, then Broken Railroad will be a dead-end region, meaning that there's only one way in or out, with the only transition being to Forlorn Muskeg. If you do have the DLC, then there will also be a transition into the Far Range branch line as well. We'll be starting our walkthrough of the region at the Forlorn Muskeg transition, so meet me there and we'll just start walking along the train tracks, taking it slow at first. While we walk, I want to again mention that we aren't going to be going to every single thing that there is to explore in this region, so make sure that you wander off the beaten path a little bit. The first bit of this journey is pretty empty of anything too notable, but there are plenty of little offshoots that we can see already that are worth a peek. Okay, with that said, let's speed up the pace a little bit until you reach this spot. Right ahead of you is the landslide. To your right is a path that brings you down to a little waterfall and around the landslide. But there's a far more efficient way to get past this obstacle. So, welcome to Stars' Goating School, Baby Edition. Because getting over this landslide is one of the easiest and most common goating spots in the game. In fact, it's so simple that I'm hesitant to even call it goating because I feel like it could just be considered an official path at this point. Now, let's move over to Stars in the Field to learn how to get over the landslide. Okay, so we're going to want to get over this landslide here. But we don't want to take a long way, so what we're going to do is the very, very simple little goat where we just walk up the side here, and then we hug along this on top of here, and then you just walk zigzag back and forth across the variety of little surfaces here. And very easily get yourself right over the landslide and back down to the tracks. See? Super easy. I don't think I know a single person that does not just do that instead of going the long way. So yeah, good job. Now you know how to do that. Let's get back to the video. Alrighty, now that we're past the landslide, continue to follow the train tracks for a brief bit until you reach the locomotive engine. Before moving on from this spot, do a quick scan around the engine as there may be a pry bar sitting on the ground near it. Now make your way along the right side of the wrecked locomotive and make your way through this path to the other side where we finally can get to the good stuff that this region has to offer. Follow the tracks for just a tiny bit longer to reach this intersection with a truck. There are two ways to go here. We can continue to follow the tracks, or we can turn off to the right and head down to this industrial area that we can see over here. We'll first go in the direction of the tracks because it's a far quicker area to explore, and it will be a lot nicer to just get it out of the way before setting out into the main areas of the region. Continue along the tracks to find this train cart, which might have a couple little goodies inside. Now, just walk up to the broken bridge. If you don't have the DLC, then there won't be much of note here. It'll just be a broken bridge with no way across. If you do have the DLC, you'll find this tiny walkway across the bridge, and you can make your way to the rail tunnel, which you should recognize as the transition into the far range branch line. With that brief little expedition done, we can finally finish this appetizer and start to dig into the meat of this region. But before we do, I just wanted to quickly say that, wow, we are getting really close to 10,000 subscribers. Something that I've mentioned a lot on stream, but never in a video, is that I'm actually going to be doing this channel's first ever merch drop in celebration of reaching that 10K milestone. I won't say what'll be included because I'm still figuring out all that stuff, but if you're enjoying the content and aren't subscribed, then consider doing that to help us reach that goal. Okay, back to the video. Meet back up with me at the split to the industrial area and follow the path down to reach the maintenance yard, where you'll also find the maintenance shed. This is a really beefy loot spot. You'll find a bunch of useful supplies and tools inside the shed. Plus, it is where this region's forge is located, so make sure you explore the shed and the surrounding yard well. Alright, believe it or not, there's actually only one more key location to check out in this region. To get there, follow me to the back of the maintenance yard where you'll find this gap in the fence. Walk through the fence and head down to the lake that is straight ahead of you. Once you reach the shore, follow it to the right until you reach the path that leads up to this bridge. Walk across it and go through the gate to the other side. Now follow the little pathway here for a bit, and you'll eventually see this little marsh pop into view, which means that you're only a couple of steps away from the hunting lodge. In my opinion, this little shelf at the edge of Broken Railroad is definitely one of the coziest spots in all of Great Bear. I mean, just aesthetically speaking, it is a really beautiful place. The nice mix of oak trees with the default trees adds so much to the scene, and the lodge being right at the edge of a little marsh and a cliff with a beautiful view. Plus, there's a good amount of biodiversity with deer, rabbits, and ptarmigans potentially spawning here. Gah, I love this spot. It is so cozy. Anyways, the real reason we're here is to talk about the lodge. This is a massive, beautiful interior with abundant loot that can be found inside. There's a fireplace and a 6-slot stove inside, plus a workbench in the basement. You'll be able to find a good amount of food and clothing, and potentially some weapons and tools as well. This spot is great, so make sure that you check all 3 floors thoroughly so you don't miss anything. Alrighty, that's it, huh? Man, that was too quick. It feels weird to close out the video already. Okay, here's what I'll do. There are 2 other areas that are pretty nice to check out that I would normally just leave to you guys to find through your own exploration, but just to put some more meat on this video's bones, I'll show them to you guys here. If you want to stay blind to this stuff, then feel free to click off the video because we've already gone over all of the important stuff. But if you want to hang around and check out these other areas, then meet me back at the path that led us to the hunting lodge. Walk back down the road here until you come near this big boulder. Then pass it on the left and continue until you see this fallen tree bridge. Walk across it and then look for this little path to the right. Head through it and you'll find yourself on this fun scenic trail through the cliffs around the lake. There isn't a whole lot here apart from a few carcasses, but there are a lot of plants to harvest. There are quite a few possible birch sapling and old man's beard lichen spawns. Closer to the end of the trail, you'll find a little oak grove. And at the very end, you'll find yourself at a rope climb spot. There won't be any rope deployed here initially, but if you do put one here, you can go down and you'll be only a short distance away from both the maintenance shed and the bridge to the hunting lodge, which helps you loop back to a key location if you need to. Alrighty, to get to the other place that I want to show you, meet me at the back of the maintenance shed near that gap in the fence that we passed through earlier. Walk through the fence again and follow me over to the left here and then go straight, heading across this little stream that's coming from the lake. Make your way over to the cliff over here and follow along it until you find this spot to deploy a rope. Like the last spot, this one won't have a rope by default, so you'll need to bring one with you. Once you deploy a rope here, you can climb all the way down to the small ravine that's below the broken bridge. Once again, there isn't much of a practical reason to go here aside from a couple potential carcasses, a potential corpse with some loot, and the high amount of cattails that are scattered throughout the edges of the river. But it's a very beautiful spot, and it's definitely worth checking out if you're sticking around the region for a while. Alrighty guys, that's it for today. You now know everything that you'll need to know to explore Broken Railroad. It's kinda nice to have a bit of a shorter video. I know that future stars that has to edit is gonna love it. Remember to vote on what region you want me to cover next in the comments. And remember to explore off the beaten path as well. If you liked the video, then like the video. It really helps out the channel. If you want to see more from me, then grab the nearest fish and slap that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, you're all so amazing, and I will see you in the next one.